Hello everyone, welcome back to Travel Adventures here on YouTube. We've taken quite a large break, obviously because of the COVID-19 situation, but we're back, obviously not out anywhere, we're in my house at the moment. I'm just going to make this quick update video on what's happening in the world of Merlin Entertainments, the big theme park owners here in the UK. So without further ado, let's roll the new title sequence. So, welcome back to the Travel Adventures YouTube channel, and today we're just going to be going through some of the measures that have been put in place by Merlin Entertainments. Obviously, Merlin Entertainments is a big company who own lots of theme parks and attractions across the UK. Obviously, the main four being Alton Towers, Thorpe Park, Chessington World of Adventures and Legoland. With Chessington being one of the ones we were hoping to go to this year, which we hopefully still will, with social distancing being in place. I'm just going to go through some of the measures they put in place to ensure that it's as safe as possible for staff and guests. So I'll just read you the statement, which hopefully I'll put on screen now for you as well. We're working hard to ensure when we reopen, it will be in the safest way possible for you, our adventurers, our staff and animals in our care. So this is taken off the Chessington website. To do this, we will be introducing new hygiene and safety measures, some of which we wanted to share with you now, so you know what we'll be doing and we'll ask you to do when we'll reopen, to make sure everyone has a safe and wild adventure. We will be updating these measures prior to the resort reopening and in response to evolving government guidelines, so do keep checking back here for the latest details. We expect your adventure to restart on the 4th of July 2020, when hopefully we'll reopen the resort. And then there's a link to find out more, which we'll go on to in a moment. So, the fact that it says we will be updating these measures prior to the resort reopening in response to evolving government guidelines is that not everything that's going to be in this video now that I'm mentioning isn't going to be final. So things may change and things may stay the same. So let's move down to the part that's before your adventure. Pre-book to guarantee entry. So to allow for social distancing, we will be reducing the number of people we welcome to the resort each day. Therefore, to guarantee entry, you must pre-book online. So I've read into this a little bit, and I've spoken to some of the people at Chessington, and this means that even if you have a Merlin annual pass, you will have to book in advance. Now, I've known some of other theme parks in the world, when people are pre-booking, they are paying like a £1, £2 fee. Obviously, they're equivalent to that. So that it's more of a psychological thing, so they know that they must go because they've paid that amount of money. Because there are some people who may book and then say, oh no, I don't want to go now, or we can't go. And that was a family of 4 maybe. Then that's 4 people who would have wanted to go who wouldn't have been allowed to go because their spaces would have been taken, if you understand what I'm meaning. They ask you to check the website before setting off on your wild adventure. Check our website and social media channels for the latest wilderness safety information. Also, they're going on with the theme of obviously Chessington World of Adventures. Contactless payments. Be ready to make contactless payments rather than cash where possible. Now, before all the coronavirus pandemic last season, Chessington were already making changes to obviously how people pay in the resort, with 2 of their big restaurants becoming card only. So obviously they can speed up the process of people wanting to eat their food. So that's obviously going to be quite a big change. Obviously the drinks stations, the food places, food outlets, and other places as well are obviously going to be card only. So that's something you can expect. Bring a suitable face mask or covering. We encourage, I repeat, encourage adventurers to bring a suitable face mask or covering. Face masks will be able to be to purchase at the resort should you require one. So, at the time of filming, the government have announced that people must wear face masks on public transport from the 15th of June. Now, if myself and Alfie were to go to Chessington, we obviously take the train. And that means we will be having to wear a face mask. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean, because obviously they say we encourage adventurers, doesn't necessarily mean you have to wear it inside the theme park. That's going to be something that's obviously released later on. But they're encouraging you to wear a face mask, and they'll be able to be purchased at the resort. Going on to the next part of that. Do not visit if you are showing any of the symptoms of coronavirus, obviously. We politely request you to not visit the resort if you are showing any of the symptoms of coronavirus, including a high temperature, new continuous cough, loss or change to your sense of smell or taste. So that's something obviously that you wouldn't do. Now on to arrival at the resort. Follow all instructions regarding parking. So if you arrive by car, follow all instructions regarding parking. Now the picture that I've got on screen now obviously makes it look like that they're leaving gaps. So obviously they're leaving a car, then a gap, then a car, obviously vertically and horizontally as well. Wilderness safety guide signs. Pay attention to the new wilderness safety guide signs, which will tell you key hygiene and safety messages and instructions. And obviously temperature checks, as well as our staff undergoing daily non-contact temperature checks. We will also ask you, aside from babies and toddlers, to participate in such checks as a condition of entry to the resort. So in order to gain entry to the resort, they're obviously going to do temperature checks on you, just to make sure you haven't got a fever or anything like that. They haven't yet released what the maximum temperature is going to be, but obviously that's something that will be released prior to opening. Here we go. Please note anyone who displays a high temperature associated with a fever, so obviously anything above 37.8 degrees or above, along with their household, will not be permitted entry. Okay, so onto the social distancing. Keep a 2-metre gap. Keep a 2-metre gap from other adventurers at the resort. Clear markers or signs in the queues will help you maintain the safe distance. So obviously that's going to be maintained across the whole of the country, not just in Chessington. And obviously if me and Alfie do go, we will have to keep the 2 metres distance. Now, this is the only problem with that, is this next one. Empty rows and empty seats. To minimise contact between adventurers on rides, empty rows and seats between you and others will be left, while other relevant approaches will be taken at our other attractions. So me and Alfie won't be able to sit next to each other, basically. Obviously, to keep the 2-metre distance. So they're going to have a row filled, row empty, row filled. Interactive areas like our play areas and shows will be temporarily unavailable or modified. And the indoor attractions will be limited to how many people can go in, and other outdoor areas including our restaurant, shops and guest help and information. Hygiene screens will be at many of our restaurants, food stalls and shop counters. So obviously keep the distance between members of staff and the public. And height checks will be different as well. So height checks for our rides and other guest services will change to reduce the proximity of staff to adventurers, which is obvious, but we haven't got more information about what they'll be doing about that yet. Now on to hygiene and disinfection. We politely request you uphold the highest possible hygiene measures, catching a cough or sneeze with a tissue or in your sleeve, regular and thorough hand washing or frequent use of hand sanitizer. And the hand sanitizer will be readily available across the resort, and we ask all adventurers to sanitize their hands before and after enjoying our rides. So obviously that makes it look like there's going to be hand sanitizers at the start of the queue line and at the end of the ride to ensure that none of the obviously reduce the amount of germs that are obviously going onto the ride's restraints as well. Food options. All food options will be grab and go, with cutlery and condiments will be provided to you with your food or on request. So obviously places like the fish and chip shop or the burger kitchen or anything like that, which are obviously, you go up to the person and say, I want a burger and chips, and they hand it to you, obviously will not be available. So it's all going to be sandwiches and bottles of water, etc. And enhanced cleaning will be taking place throughout the day, while rides will be cleaned every 30 minutes. So obviously, there's going to be a period where the rides stop, so that then obviously they can do enhanced cleaning on the ride, and then the rides will be able to restart again, which will take place every 30 minutes. And finally, deep cleaning will occur of relevant areas if anyone presents themselves to us with coronavirus symptoms. So if anyone seems like they have got coronavirus symptoms, so for example, if they turn up to the entrance of the resort and they do a temperature check and they say, no, you've got a fever, they're obviously clean out that area to ensure that no one else contracts symptoms. Close contact activities, to protect you from both, to protect both you and our staff, face masks, disposable gloves and eye protection will be worn by them for a range of close contact routine activities. The staff will be wearing masks, disposable gloves and eye protection. Close contact activities, so for example at the food kiosks where they obviously have the screens as we mentioned earlier, and obviously if they're doing any cleaning, so obviously emptying bins, mopping up restaurants, cleaning tables, etc. And then the final one on that part of hygiene and disinfection is coronavirus training, which I think is a great idea, and our staff will participate in specific coronavirus training related to our new hygiene and safety measures, instructing them how to stay safe as well as how to keep you safe. So that's the end of that page. I'm just going to move on to the page that discusses pre-booking tickets. All adventurers need planning, therefore we will need everyone, including annual pass holders, to pre-book a ticket online to guarantee entry. More information will be shared in the coming weeks, obviously closer to the opening. So that's just to go over all the things that Chessington are doing, which obviously are going to be different and slightly similar to the things that are happening in Fort Park, Walton Towers and other Merlin attractions across the country. And just to mention what we were going to be doing else on this channel, we're hopefully going to be doing some outdoor things, so obviously going out on a bike ride, etc., going for a walk, and we may be having guests, so for example Tate or Alfie, obviously at a 2-metre distance. So thank you very much for supporting us during this time. I hope you keep well, keep safe, and hope to see you soon.